I did my PhD on the United Auto Workers and have been a labor activist and taught labor relations for 40 years. And I'm proud to be here with Frank and Marianne and Glenn.
The reason I'm out here, I retired in 2020, and I have four great grandkids. And one day I was sitting there and it just occurred to me, it's like, oh my God, this place, meaning America and the world, is really screwed up. And so I needed to get active. I heard Marianne was running, so I got involved.
It's a beautiful new generation of conscious auto workers. And the message that Shawn Fain is putting out, that this is a class struggle. This is a struggle between the working class and the corporate billionaires, espousing corporate greed. That is resonated with workers, clearly.
It's just resonating with the country.
I've been a union guy for 42 years. I love to see the spirituality coming together with the labor force without the politics, more or less, just us out here doing our thing. I think that I can't wait to get over there and actually get a picket sign in my hand. I worked for General Motors for 42 years. I always wanted to go on strike. I know that's crazy, but it's kind of like part of history. You want to be a part of it.
I know, I grew up with it. My father talking about how when he was a little boy on his father's shoulders, being taken to a Eugene V. Debs rally because my grandfather worked for the Rock Island Railroad. And I was taught all of that as a child, and we need to teach our children these things. It's so important.
I talked to a young man a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about the economics, and I said to him, do you know at 19, I owned a condo, I owned a car, and he was just stunned. He could not believe it. He could not even conceive it. And we had that luxury. And the reason we did was because of the union. And so hopefully, people they're waking up. I love it. It excites me that they are. I love it.
My name is Frank Hammer.
And you are retired from?
I'm retired from the UAW Local 909 in Warren, Michigan, where I presided I was a president and a chairman as well. And I was also on the GM department staff when I retired at the beginning of 2007.
And he's very happy with what's happening today.
I'm very happy with what's happening. I'm very happy to meet you. I used to represent a local 909 in Warren, Michigan, which used to manufacture transmissions.
Okay.
That plant is closed. Okay. The plant is demolished. The local has been sold. And the work that we were doing was replaced by other transmission builders in Mexico.
In Mexico.
In Mexico.
For the people who are watching jobs like working on transmissions, going to Mexico, can you give me a little sense of what people were going through, what people were saying, what the feelings were, and the effect on their lives and their communities?
So I think there was a real air of despondency and despair, and kind of this is bound to happen, this is inevitable. I was dismayed that at that time the UAW did not put up a fight if we couldn't manufacture transmissions, that we could manufacture for the green economy using that plant. And that fight was not waged, unfortunately. But I think workers by that time were going along with a kind of a fatalism that this is what happens, and they move on with their lives.
When you say that there was a fatalism and that even the union was acquiescing and just surrendering to what was happening, did you at the time think they should put up a bigger fight?
Absolutely. So, to give you an example, when my plant closed, they had a candlelight vigil, which is all well and good, but the candlelight vigil is not one of the tools in the UAW arsenal. What we're doing today is the tool in our arsenal.
Everybody's so aware of the extraordinary presence of Shawn Fain. Do you just feel that the country is getting it? You've got 78% of Americans now who say they're pro-union, 75% supporting this strike. Do you feel it here, like the country's with you?
We have a sweet spot here, especially if we could get a settlement within 10 days or 2 weeks and capture the favoritism we currently enjoy, as long as we don't get stretched out too far and they can turn this around against us. So I'm guardedly optimistic that we'll see a victorious settlement.
But it's not about the money. It's about the respect. It's about honoring workers. It's about actually letting us be human beings and have a chance at life. And that's why I'm out here.
And I think from a political perspective, you know, the fact that you gentlemen, you know, you're hardcore, you're workers with the union, and none of you are afraid to talk about the very human dimension, even the spiritual dimension, the moral dimension of all of this. And to me, the same kind of revitalization that is happening within the labor movement is happening within politics, is happening within every sector of American society. The realization that we have swerved from the things which matter most. And that's that our society should be one in which everyone has a fair shot.
Yeah.
Everyone has a fair shot at living a life where you have the time, you have the bandwidth, you have the energy, and yes, you have the money to be able to raise a family, buy a home. You know, in the 1970s, the average worker had decent benefits, could afford a home, could afford a car, could afford a yearly vacation, and could afford to send their kids to college. That was in the 1970s. And I think so many of these younger people grew up never knowing that. You and I remember that.
Yep.
And it gives us this edge of what is going on. And to see these younger people, maybe they never knew it, but they know that it's simply what it should be, particularly in the richest country in the world.
Some future trip that Marianne makes here, she can meet President Thane at Solidarity House. So we're looking for Marianne's next trip and having, you know, some either a direct visit with President Thane or at least some progressive union activists who want to help their own kids and grandkids in the next generation.